right back.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. This is Andy Hall. This is the Andy and Sam Friday morning show. Sam will be back with us in a jiff. He has some kind of technical lifestyle.
Here's Sam.
Here comes Sam. Hey, that might have been Sam's girlfriend right there. I have it from inside information that's Sam's girlfriend. And, of course, we have Seamus over here. I'm going to point correctly. We have Seamus right over here.
Morning, everybody.
Seamus is from
Top of the morning.
Free Thought Profit show on the YouTube. Can I say the YouTubers?
Yeah, the YouTubers.
The YouTubists. And so we're just here. We're just going to roll, rhetorically speaking, and just talk for an hour about maybe the apocalypse. I have a list of stuff to talk about.
Sweet.
But if we don't talk about those things, that's fine too. One thing I did want to talk about is Bertha Vasquez. She is the director for the Teacher Institute of Evolutionary Science. They're affiliated with the Dawkins Institute with Centers for Inquiry. I talked with her for about 45 minutes the other day. It's on YouTube right now. We had a great conversation about teaching kids in classrooms, dealing with creationists, that whole thing. It was and I learned things. Because she is so smart, she can teach an idiot like me things about evolution and plants and animals and everything. So that's all I've got to say about past business.
Andy, do you have a PhD?
I do not have a PhD. No.
You don't.
I do not know. I just try to. People
I told you the fucking idiot, babe. Andy, I'm allowed to make that joke. I got a GED from the state of Texas. It's like being the hottest Denny's waitress. Come on.
Now you can pull the William Lane Craig excuse to not talk to him anymore, right? Because he doesn't have a PhD.
You know, the idea that anyone would discount talking to anyone because they don't have a PhD is ridiculous, isn't it? Right.
And you see why whenever he gets debated.
I don't know.
He got debated by a friend of John, my co-host, Hamill, Michael Nugent from Atheist Ireland. Yeah. And he had agreed to the debate without knowing that Michael doesn't have a PhD. And Michael destroyed him. I mean, like Hitchens level destroying. I mean, it's one of the best debates ever.
You got to fill me in a little about what we're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
William Lane Craig is a famous Christian apologist who goes around talking about trying to make the horrors of the Bible seem kid-friendly and really accessible to everybody. And he is a debater, and he does all these cheap tricks. And he, if there was going to be, and I'm going to, we're only in this show for a few minutes, and I haven't brought up Nazis yet, but if there was going to be a modern-day Nazi apologist, if they were giving out like raffle tickets for that kind of position, I think he would be like, as long as it's Jesus-based Nazism, I would be all in favor of that. Yeah, that's that guy. He's just crazy.
Is there any other kind, Andrew? Is there
there is no other kind. No. So what are you drinking, Seamus?
Just Guinness.
Just Guinness.
Beers for breakfast, as they say. So
you get your carbohydrates that way.
Guinness isn't just for breakfast anymore.
That's right.
It isn't. So guys, what I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking about that we really need more Holocaust survivors around.
Yeah.
And just listen to me on this. We need more Holocaust survivors to tell us how bad it isn't, right? Like to put things in perspective. We just need to say that, back in 1943, we were all going to die. You're not that bad right now.
Did you ever see that film? It was on Netflix, The Last Laugh, I believe is what it's called. And it had a ton of Jewish comedians that lived either during the time or some even through it. And they talk about this idea of whenever with survivors that they actually had like inside the camps that they would actually like perform things to try to get by the time. And that's where like the dark humor comes from, because you're literally facing death. I mean, a lot of the things we do in our daily lives is to distract us from impending doom anyways, right? The whole, death denial over my shoulder. but they're literally looking at death out the window and are like, thinking of rain. Doesn't matter. I mean, they're trying to make all kinds of jokes. And that documentary talks about a lot of that basically, they had the last laugh in the end. So, I don't want to.
Hey, Seamus.
I don't want to spoil
Seamus,
anything, but
Seamus.
check it out. So, sorry about that. Go ahead.
What are you gonna
No,
say?
hey, is Mel Brooks in that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I've seen that. Yeah. Where it talks about Mel Brooks being on the front lines and yelling across, trying to yell jokes over to the Nazis, and hilarious stuff, man. I mean, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Something that really fucking pissed me off yesterday. I made the mistake of Seamus. We're just getting to know each other. This is our first date, if you will. And you look great. Thank you for dressing up.
Thanks. You're welcome.
You might end up getting a kiss by the end of this if you play your cards right, sir. Anyways, I made the mistake of my background's in politics. And I thought, well, shit, I'll get online and I'll make some calls for Joe Biden. Let me just get out the phone bank app and show the girlfriend how we used to do this back in the Obama Biden years back in 08. Let me just show you how we do this. Here we go. I dialed about 15 fucking numbers before anybody picked up. By the time I got somebody on the fucking phone, it was an old liberal lady who was a nuclear scientist of some extent in San Diego in a Republican district. Great conversation. It was about like talking to my girlfriend from 40 years in the future who has heard all the jokes already. Was not interested in any of my all chucksy shit. The point is, after a long discussion with her, she kept doing this move where she would go, well, my first campaign was McGovern. Yeah, we've heard it. And I worked for Obama twice. So don't start with your shit about if anyone could just lose as good as McGovern lost. Fuck that. We got shit we got to do.
So Sam, what was her position? Was she voting for Biden, or what was she going to be doing?
Yes, Andy. This is a very safe pro-Biden call list. They're not calling anybody that's not. Yeah.
So this is more like get out the vote, get people jazzed up kind of thing.
It's just kind of calling and checking in, I think. Is what it is.
Well, that's good.
Nothing he said in the past week.
How are you? What do you know? What have you heard?
Nothing in the past week. Make you change your mind? Got your concerns there? Is that like one of those? You didn't hear about that, right? Okay.
Right. The you ain't black kind of. That was this week, right? It's difficult to keep up with all the Michigans, with all the craziness that's going on.
It's like the Democrats said,
guys, I know
that looks like fun over there. What the Republicans are doing, having to deal with this. We need one of those guys.
What were you going to say, Sam?
I think we got to defend Joe Biden in the Charlemagne the God situation, because the fact that a major nominee of either party is going on Charlemagne the God's morning radio zoo show is a big step in the right direction in civil rights. Charlemagne the God's morning zoo breakfast club. It ain't exactly Tim Russert hosting fucking Meet the Press, people.
This is
true. Calm it down.
And this is why I'm going to use my pointing pen. I'm going to use my pointing pen right here. It's not the aggressive phallus end of the pen. It's like the butt end. See, I made it weird again. But I'm going to say
Kennedy-esque.
It's Kennedy-esque. I would say that putting Joe Biden in any non-structured environment is really a poor move.
Yes.
If I was his coach, if I was in his corner of the ring, I would just be, Joe, don't fight a whole lot. Don't go out into the middle of the ring. Don't go near the ring if you can help it. Until you really have to. But putting Biden into those situations where he
Andy, to your point, what's interesting is that used to be his strength back in the day. That was his strength, was the improvised Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's no longer the Joe Biden we have now.
No.
But he's always been kind of
this, Andy. You know how much it upsets me.
He's always been kind of pathological, though, much like his opponent now, right? Just saying total bullshit and just not having anything to back it up and getting caught in the lies later, or plagiarizing people. You know what I mean? Well, they have so much in common.
Yeah. You know what I'm curious, Seamus, is that you're saying that you wish that he was better at it than Trump?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm thinking that that's maybe some of the mindset to some of this. You know what I mean?
I think that might be what I'm saying, Seamus. Maybe that's what I'm saying, is that
Okay.
I just wish he was as good at it as Trump. If that means he gets him a win for this election, I don't know.
I don't think he currently is. I don't think he, maybe 10 years ago, but not now. Just like I've told you before, I think this is elder abuse. I mean, I don't like the guy. I'll be honest, but I feel honestly bad for him and his family that they're just kind of like just chucking him out there whenever it's pretty obvious he don't have everything going on upstairs anymore. So
we'll put it to put it on.
Can I play?
Sure.
Go ahead, Sam.
I was just gonna say, can I play devil's advocate? I'm sorry, my dog and my cat are trying to murder each other. SummerSlam.
It's okay.
So Anna Morgan says that you have a very sexy beard, Seamus.
Thank you. It's a beard by accident. Before one of the
beard by accident.
Well, yeah, before one of the podcasts, one of the live ones we were doing, I would always do like a last minute shave, and like right in here, I like tore myself open, man.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like doing like a glue thing kind of deal, and and I just was just gonna let it grow until it was time to kind of cut that off, and then I just got to the point where I was like, oh, screw it, so just let it go.
So do you think you're just gonna let it grow in, or is
I
this
don't
like
know.
a permanent fixture?
I don't know what to do about it. So I know it ticks off some people in my family, so that just makes me want to keep it around longer, So I don't know. We'll see.
Seamus, I gotta be honest with you, man. You look identical to my boss at 1300 The Zone Sports Radio in Austin, Texas, like 15 years ago when I was like an associate producer cutting spots for Longhorn football games. But you look identical to a man named John Mandani. And I say that as a compliment.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, when I hear boss, that's usually not followed up with something well. I'm just
one of the coolest radio bosses.
Okay, cool.
I ever had. Don't get me wrong. He was the guy who looked the other way when I stood outside to hit the one hitter outside the Clear Channel office.
Nice.
You want bosses like that.
Yeah.
So I never thought that birding while black would be a thing. I mean, of all the things of the apocalypse, right? You get the plague, you get the economic downturn, but birding while black, birding of all things. Of course, I'm referring to Amy Cooper and Christian Cooper, the man who was birding while black in the Ramble in New York City. Have you guys checked out the video at all?
No, I haven't got to see it yet.
How about you, Sam?
Tara watched it, and I heard the audio, and I was getting the play-by-play. It's a hard thing for me to watch that kind of stuff these days, and I want to play devil advocate first. I got to get to Seamus about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
In a year in which, a year, not Seamus, I'm not starting shit, dude. I'm fucking looking forward to getting fucked on the first date, brother. The thing is,
but will you respect me in the morning? No.
If you vote for Joe Biden. No, but here's what I wanted to say. A year ago, and it's funny that to bring this up because I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys are well aware, Facebook does a really sick, twisted thing where it shows you what you did a year ago today.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
That's a really fucked up feature that Zuckerberg has where he's like, look at what you did. Well, today I was on the first episode ever of Best Advice Ever with Andy Hall.
Was that a year ago today?
A year ago today, Andrew.
Wow, man.
Awesome. Congrats.
Anyways, that got me excited. But my point was, a year ago today, we were talking about anybody but Trump. We don't care. We'll vote for the neighbor's stray cat. Now that we have Joe Biden, we're like, but he's a sex offender, but we don't like him now, but he fucked up on Charlemagne the God's Morning Zoo show. What?
Well, you know what Yogi Berra would say is that the difference between theory and practice is that there's little to do between theory and practice. It's easy to say you're willing to vote for a rock, but when the rock shows up, you go, I was really hoping for a sedimentary.
God, it'd be great if it was.
This igneous crap is just rubs me the wrong way.
It's not going to cut it.
It's not going to cut it.
Yeah, literally.
Right. And, I'm still going to vote against Trump in a meaningful way. So so I'll still vote for Biden. I live in Massachusetts. The state's going to go blue one way or the other. In theory, if I really wanted to put in a protest vote, I'd vote Green Party maybe. But for everyone else, for a lot of other people who aren't in true blue states, it's a whole different kind of game theory going on there. There's a whole different calculus going on.
Yeah,
it's a very complicated election year.
My state, West Virginia. So, yeah, I do think he's still going to carry, but I don't think it's going to be the landslide that he had the last time, as in Trump.
Yeah,
because the disenfranchised have kind of woken up to a bit, but there's still so many of his base that are just, no matter what, they're going to be behind it.
No, Seamus, you're exactly right. No matter what. Yep. No matter. It doesn't matter. He spent the last 10 days accusing Joe Scarborough of being a fucking serial killer.
How weird is that? How weird is that?
And
how about the woman's husband came out and begged Twitter to make them stop because it was a heart condition?
Yep.
Oh, speaking of Twitter, I sent that to you this morning, Andy. How about him getting blocked or whatever?
Trump is in
what happened, guys?
Twitter is just beginning to actually corral our president, Donald J. Trump, on its platform.
Gotta love it. 4.5 years in, it's about time.
Yeah, the barn door's open. The horses are already out, but they've decided that they're going to try to limit the damage. I believe the first one they did was a fact-checking statement on his mail-in ballots. And then this recent one was about inciting violence. I believe that goes against their policies.
And again, shout out to John Hamill because I sent it to him about the same time I sent it to you. And he said he tweeted the same thing. They got flagged. I'll have to look at the date. But it basically he's retweeting or saying the same thing. When the looting starts, the shooting
starts. There you go.
And right, because he's talking about sending the military into Milwaukee, right?
Yep.
To pacify the riots going on in there.
Minneapolis.
Well,
Minneapolis. I'm sorry, Minneapolis. Yeah.
Good news. Last night I was blocked on Facebook from an African American gentleman who I've known for going on 20 years, went to high school with, who has at some point in the last 10 years become a total fucking Trumper, like a Black Tea Party Fox Newser. Mm-hmm. But he's not smart enough to make the pitch.
Yeah.
So last night he's posting in the car videos, the selfie testimonial about the problems in Michigan. And I turned to Tara. I said, hey, babe, what happened in Michigan? And I was, funny story, it was Minnesota. Moving right along.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tom's doing any block me. Sorry, Teddy, not Tom. Teddy, Uncle Teddy.
Yeah, so Twitter seems to be getting to the point that they're done, or are trying to corral him. Of course, Trump signed that executive order the other day, supposedly limiting the liability or increasing the liability social media platforms have against lawsuits, as I understand the executive order.
Wow.
We still don't really know what's in that executive order. It hasn't all been put into legal form for us to read. We don't really know what all that entails at this point. It's an extremely scary thing to think about.
Yeah, we know it's illegal. That's what we know. I mean, in a sane world, it's illegal. With a functioning judiciary, it would be illegal.
Right.
Oh, well, relax. Come on.
How bad can it be?
What could go wrong? I mean, we got half the Vatican sitting on the Supreme Court. It's okay. No biggie. It's okay.
Right. Shit. Seamus, the Vatican. We've got PJ, Tobin, Squee. I drink beer. I like beer.
Well, come on. Who would you want to party with more than Brent Kavanaugh? Come on. That's always the question, right? is that always the question whenever they try to, get somebody elected or appointed? It's like, what's the guy you want to have a beer with? Like,
Yeah.
well, you
Right.
better bring your own, or tell him to bring his own. I mean, that's what
It might be
yeah,
a
well-
sign of some alcoholic tendencies on my part, but I would just say me. I would love to have beer with me.
Yeah, that's it.
A lot of times alone.
Yeah.
Does that make you
Andy,
president?
I wish I loved me as much as you love you.
Well, I have a 10-step online course that I can sell you for a low introductory price.
Oh, Andrew Hall, I'm not buying anything. Your snake oil, Alex Jones over there with your silver, or your silver drink you're selling's going to cure COVID.
My colloidal silver nanoparticle drink is ideal for anything that ails you. The gay frogs, the COVID, anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So Seamus, we should actually talk about your show a bit since you are the guest here.
I don't care. We don't have to.
No, I know you may not care, but I'm trying to be
I know.
a gracious host. That's
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
trying to be.
yeah. Well, you wore that out already, so it's all right.
Oh!
Just kidding. I figured I'd have a shot at you since Sam's been shooting me since he got here. Getting
I'm
shot
not
from
doing
guy
that.
in Texas. It's all right. What do you want to know? You've been on the show. You know
I have
all
been,
about
but
it.
what about the people in the audience who are going to be who are watching this?
Oh, I know.
So promote yourself.
so-
I'm giving you the promotion. I just
know, I'm not-
promoted my.
I'm not good about promoting or talking about myself. That's why I'm a
Seamus.
horrible guest.
Seamus,
So
tell me how you want me to promote it, and I'll promote it for you.
I'm just talking about spooning with you later. That's all. So
Wow.
Anyways,
I've got hot
Spin a little
fast.
thing, Seamus.
Huh?
We're two very large men.
I'm definitely on the outside spoon. I'm just saying. So, but anyways,
Down here we call it the big spoon. Seamus.
Yeah.
We don't say the
Oh.
outside spoon. That makes it weird.
see, that's how out of touch I am with these terms, man. I just don't know. So, anyways,
Look at you, you're so fucking hetero. You don't even know the big spoon on the outside. So it's fucking straight male testosterone this morning. Woo!
that's all right. We've triggered everybody. So, anyway, now, basically, the show is much like what we're doing now. Honestly, me and John Hamill from Ireland. I got Irish blood, as they say, and he started as a guest because when I started the show, I figured, well, Ireland's the Pope's summer home, so there's got to be some sort of resistant front, right? So I found Atheist Ireland, and they sent me John Hamill to have as a guest, and it was like kismet. It was just like talking to somebody you've known your whole life. And I think it was like 4 or 5 episodes into making the show, and I was like already decided I want to have somebody else doing this with me because I just didn't like doing it on my own. And reached out to him within an hour, and he was like, "Oh hell yeah!" And we actually just posted our 200th episode today.
Hell yeah.
So
That's great, dude. That's great.
yeah, thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We've been doing more live stuff. We've had a lot of guests on. Julian Bagini kind of called us pub philosophers. So I think that's the kind of shtick we kind of go with because we might get into some serious topics, as we just did here. But I mean, it's all very informal. We have Irish whiskey usually, have a few drinks and joke back with whoever we have. And I said, it doesn't matter who the guests are. We always just try to have a good time. Lawrence Krauss, Michael Shermer, Michael Sherlock.
Oh, we're gonna pick that name up off the ground for you there, Seamus.
Yeah. I'm just saying, all these guys, a lot of the atheists, have-nots and have-wills, if you want to say. But we've also been trying to talk about other things. We did a live episode just talking about Stanley Kubrick films the other day. Andy was on the live chat.
I was on the live chat for Stanley Kubrick. I had just watched actually Full Metal Jacket for the first time.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
I'm sure Sam, coming from Texas and being a film buff himself, has no idea what Full Metal Jacket is or the thing is. No, nothing.
Okay.
I've never heard of it.
It is. There's only 2 things from Texas.
Wait. It's not the thing where Arlie Army is up in Vincent D'Onofrio screaming his motherfucking head off.
Yes.
That's basically half the movie. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The best half, anyways. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, everything else just becomes like a sad.
Okay,
war
here's a
movie.
Full Metal Jacket. Here's a Full Metal Jacket side trivia question I've been throwing people lately during quarantine. Can you tell me, Seamus or Andy, who Elvis's commanding officer was in the late 60s at Fort Hood, Texas?
Ooh. Oh, Emery, right?
Well, Emery was a Marine.
Seamus, you're correct, but you're jumping up to a few guys ahead.
So there was someone who was famous, who was the immediate officer.
No, it's all a trick question. It's all Andy. You've been doing shows with me long enough. You know it always goes back to me. Somehow it's related to me. So go ahead. Hey,
let's see. I would say you're. I don't know, Sam. I think this is where we do this whole thing between I'm the straight man idiot, which I am like the idiot at least between our dyad, and you would now throw in the punchline. So.
Colonel Robert Slade, my dad's dad, was Elvis's bird colonel in Fort Hood.
Nice.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Taught him how to finger bang the shit out of 14-year-old. The Slade move. I don't care what Elvis said.
Hey, what? I'm glad you brought that up. What is with the age of 14 with all these guys? You ever notice that? Like, there's so many guys like Elvis, and you can go down a list of interesting folks that we've found out later. But 14 seems to be like the age of just that's when I want them. That's when they're good. Well, that's weird. I don't understand it.
Seamus, you have a point, but if we really kind of open this fan up, dun, 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 dun. Oh, we're not supposed to do those jokes anymore. But if we really open this up, Ted Nugent adopted the 14-year-old, became the legal guardian.
Right.
Okay. Elvis just rolled into the room, was like, "Hey, you're 14 years old. You're with me now. What's going on, Lisa?"
Yeah.
Who was the other one? Jerry Lee
Lewis.
Steven Tyler did the same thing.
Steven Tyler did the same thing. Yeah. You know who doesn't fuck children? Comedians.
Yep, we may have a lot of dysfunctionality, but we're not. Overall, we're not Catholic priests.
Just beats them. She doesn't fuck them. So yeah.
Typically, we don't have sex with underage people. Yeah. 14. To tell you the truth, when I was single, right after I got divorced and single, I realized that there are whole swaths of the population that I couldn't date because I could not determine whether or not they were 25 or 16. Hey.
Seamus, I have to let you know, I don't know how many times you've done shows with Andy. I got to let you know. Every story about Andy having any kind of sex life ever starts with, and we've been doing the show long enough, I can point this out, but right after I was divorced, I don't know if you guys know.
Well, that's why I started discovering sex, was right after the divorce.
Hey, I could relate. Again, another brother, man. I mean, perfect.
Yeah. Wait, are these three sad divorcees from across the country now, swathing across the American fabric?
No, I'm happy because I am divorced. My
friend.
Yeah. That is,
and Lord knows you taught me that lesson, Andrew. You were my Qui-Gon Jinn.
Divorce taught me how to love again, my friend. That's what it did. It made me rediscover my penis, and it made me rediscover love, my spine, and funny about it, my money too. It made me rediscover everything.
Yeah, my dick was in the witness protection program, so because apparently, whenever I brought it up, my wife was like, "Dick, I don't know no dick." I stole that. I stole that one. So Robert Schimmel.
Hey, long live Robert Schimmel. God damn it, nobody even remembers him.
At
the end of my divorce, my dick wrote its congressman because I was beating it up too bad in the bathroom. The girlfriend is pretending to laugh in the corner over here, so we'll count that.
Right. Beth Dreadmarsh says 14 is way too young. Yes, Beth. There is no calculus that you can do.
Hot take from Beth this morning.
Yeah, really. Wow, that was a brave statement. Yeah.
Thank you for your courage.
Yeah.
Well, there seems to be a significant amount of the male population who thinks that 14, as we just said, was on the menu.
Yeah, well, I mean, back in the day, it was okay. That's what's messed up.
Yeah,
but I don't think it was ever fun. I remember being 14. It wasn't fun then.
No.
And that was in the fucking 90s. They knew shit.
I don't know. Like, I can't imagine. We're talking about, the post-divorce debauchery, right?
Right.
I went out with a girl that was like 23, and I was 35, 36 at the time.
All right,
I don't know.
I'll take your word for it.
Anyways, went on just a date, and I'm just like, God damn, no. It's like you're just way too young. I just can't. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
hey, Seamus, what did she want to talk about?
just nonsense. I don't know. All I heard was blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I may be a jerk, but I mean, it's just like, I felt like I was in a room with somebody that was from a foreign country or something. It just,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It just, I mean, yeah, she was young and looked fantastic, but no. If it doesn't work for here, it doesn't work down below. I'm just saying. That's just, for me, that's just how I'm wired. I'm messed up that way.
So Seamus, I don't mind,
Yeah.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 43.
All right. So 43. Okay. So she didn't want to hear anything about your experience with the Atari 5200.
No. Don't you understand about Commodore 64?
That was a great one.
And Beta was better than VHS. Damn it.
She didn't want to hear any of those stories.
No, she couldn't relate. God damn, what the hell's wrong with people? So, yeah, I don't know. She was just annoying. I went out with another 20-something that was a little bit, like in it with it too, but I don't know. I just kind of stick to 30s and up, I guess, unless there's somebody's just I hate to use the word soul, but an old soul. I don't know. Somebody can actually hold a conversation. I think you have to like live a certain life experience to where you're past all that nonsense. You know what I mean? That you actually just can communicate.
I think that's how Andy and I ended up doing the show together, was bonding over some stuff I went through the last few years, and Andy being on call for me FaceTiming from the bathtub like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And still, I've never gotten paid for all my hours. All the hours billed, nothing. Nothing.
And you won't.
Yeah, exactly. I walked into the house the other day, and I just moved in with my girlfriend a couple of weeks ago, and I still have a lot of books in boxes. And she was looking at one of my old books from when I was in school, and it was a baking book because I have an associate's degree in culinary arts. And she got.
Wait, do you really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so I can cook. I can do stuff. And so what she did is that she was angry, and this is probably the weirdest argument we've had in quarantine yet, is that she was angry at me for not being angry while we watched the Great British Baking Show. She was like, why aren't you more angry when they're doing it wrong? And I was like, well, I will say that anger for me is my skill. It is like my Jedi power is being angry at weird things. But baking has never really been one of those items that really have triggered the anger.
Well, it's a very positive show. It's a very upbeat show as opposed to a lot of cooking shows. They're very nice to each other.
Well, you can tell it's a British show because it isn't like Cutthroat Kitchen where people are trying to undermine each other at all times. Or people are being yelled at. There's no yelling really on the Great British Baking.
They're very polite.
They're very polite, yeah. So I would say that was probably the strangest thing that we've gotten into a discussion about, is that my lack of anger.
So the strangest quarantine argument with your partner.
Yeah.
It's so funny you say that. Well, this came up the other day. I think we ended up in a fucking argument about what the strangest was.
What the what was?
Tara and I ended up in an argument about what the worst argument we've gotten into during quarantine.
Well, I think I see the tactical.
We're at down here in Texas. We're arguing about what the worst argument was.
So what was your vote, Sam?
Being a heterosexual. Ooh, Tara. Hang on, I'm gonna call my lifeline. Can you come in, please? Can you come here? Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna call my lifeline in. Guys, it's a big deal, Seamus. I don't know if you know. Andy understands. We rarely get an appearance from Tara Brown. Dumbest thing I've tried to start an argument about during quarantine.
My vote's always going to be like what YouTube videos we have to watch over and over and over and over and over again.
So Tara, what's this go-to on YouTube?
Mixed bag. Some days we'll get vintage wrestling videos all day.
Oh my god, that's great.
There's a American Experience Bill Clinton documentary that we've run through about 8 times.
Babe, not in front of my friends, all right?
And if my reaction isn't as if I've seen it for the first time every time, then that's when the argument starts, because then I just don't care about anything.
That's great. The Bill Clinton back in the halcyon days when life wasn't horrible.
Thank you. You can go now. Thank you. You give some people an inch, I swear to God.
Don't bring up your sex life, man. That's just, come on.
No, Seamus, I meant literally, I give her an inch. That's all I have to offer. I'm Irish. What do you want me to do?
Nice.
Yeah. So it's about YouTube videos, huh? And yeah, I can see that.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I'm dealing with real depression, Andy, I think you know this about me, I get very passionate about stuff that makes me feel better. I get very religious about it. I want to watch the stuff that pumps me up.
Yeah.
And the stuff that pumps me up is 80s NBA, 80s fucking wrestling, fucking 90s Democratic politics, Barack Obama on the tail end. I know, Seamus, we hate Joe Biden. I know. We'll get there. I know. Andy, you know the shit I'm into. I need to be fulfilled. I need to be fucking lit up sometimes.
Yep. So besides the drink, Seamus, what do you like to cheer up the mood?
Excuse me. My other favorite thing to do is play guitar.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So
right. If I had a skill, I would exercise that skill in some way, but I'm skillless, sir. That's my problem.
Oh, you just talked about cooking. Come on.
Oh well.
Yeah. Culinary art.
What's that?
Yeah. What's that, Sam?
We didn't hear you, Sam.
You didn't hear Sam. I think Sam's not hearing us.
I don't like to hear Andy talk down about himself, knowing that he has a degree in culinary arts. I have a hard time hearing him put himself down. I love the man, and it's hard. It's like hearing a sibling trash himself. I don't want to hear that negativity.
Well, you didn't live in my household, my friend, because that's what made the whole household work, was negativity, toxicity, and some other isity that I can't think of right now. But it was all that mix in the whole household.
Did you grow up in Boston?
I grew up in Brockton, which is south of Boston. It is an open sore on the southeastern part of Massachusetts.
I'm guessing.
Seamus, you have to know that Andy
What? I didn't hear that, guys. What did you say, Seamus?
Do you have like an Irish background as well? Because that kind of.
We were. I didn't discover that I had an Irish background until I went on 23andMe and did a genetic test, to tell you the truth. Up until then, I didn't realize I had. What's that? Because I'm adopted. And so I really don't know.
I didn't know that.
My genealogy. I just thought I was some kind of weird Scandinavian mongrel, but it turns out that there's a fair amount of Irish in me.
It just sounds like you grew up in an Irish household. That's why, So.
Right. Yeah. The toxicity. No, but we were my adopted father. Well, my father. He's part of the Mayflower Society, so he could bring his lineage back to those crazy pilgrims from back in the day.
I'm sorry. My Native American girlfriend right now is about to punch a hole through the wall because you mentioned the Mayflower Society.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Guys, don't be mad that, Andy, you've known me for 5 or 6 years, and I'm about to enter my Brando phase. The late 70s Brando phase with my Native American girlfriend. I won't be picking up my own Oscar. I'll have Tara go do it for me. Seamus likes this bid. He's never heard it before.
No, I didn't see. I saw the tweet you put out the other day. It made me laugh. So,
well, what was the tweet?
Did you tweet about Brando?
Brando next.
Oh yeah, about me and with Fat Brando and I'm in my Brando. Oh my goodness, I'm so flattered. My God, the only people who ever bring up my tweets are the DPS when they're interviewing me. about random crimes in Central Texas.
Well, Marlon Brando is always a good topic. So to go back to your question though, Andy, I do like watching films. Hello, that's how we got into the whole Kubrick thing.
Oh yeah.
The other thing is podcasts. I love podcasts. Hello, that's how I got into this. And my favorite podcast now that I've been binge listening to, pretty much I get home. If nothing needs attended to, if it's a free night, so to speak, get a case of beer out, get the Xbox going, and then I crank up the dollop, and I just listen to the nonsense. It's
cool.
Dude, my best friend's a big dollop guy. He's been trying to get me into it. I haven't checked it out yet, but he preaches.
Hilarious. But it also, because all of us are into politics and history and that kind of stuff. At least I'm picking it up from the little conversations we're having now. You guys would just be amazed. I mean, just it'll make you laugh, cry, and be pissed all at the same time. So
about
stuff.
what will
everything
you
and anything.
About?
Anything and everything. I mean, you talked about your girlfriend's Native American. There's several podcasts on the history of that of situations.
You're Native American. When were you going to tell me?
Yeah, but I mean, it just, and you'll like the guys that are involved. They're very left leaning. So as far as that, if that helps. So I don't know,
sure.
Dave Anthony and Garrett Reynolds. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those guys.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm familiar with both of them.
Okay. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Now, see, the timing is bad, Seamus, because I broke up with my best friend who keeps telling me to watch it over the weekend.
Oh,
I mean, listen to it. So I had to break up with him. I don't know that he knows this
I'm
yet.
your new friend. I'm your new booby. Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on. Virtual hug, man.
Oh, wait a minute. Is stepping in, taking the place of my 15-year best.
Yeah.
This is what we do here. We build bridges. We build relationships here. That's what we do.
Yeah. So I don't know, like Pittsburgh to Texas, probably social distance enough. So we'll be all right.
So Chris Mallard, the Daily Atheist, pointed out that he likes your Star Wars lunchbox, Sam. What's the backstory with your Star Wars lunchbox? Yeah. Let's bring that up to the camera.
Well, I'm going to be honest, guys. Can't take all the credit. This is Tara's. Big Star Wars nerd. Within the first week of us meeting, she told me 6 months before the release of Rise of Skywalker that she had tickets to Rise of Skywalker.
Impressive.
Within what, 2-3 days of talking, I said, "You better hold on to that extra tickets. I'm going with you in December."
So you had to stay with her up until that time.
Same on both sides, old school, a real thing. My favorite Tara Brown Star Wars story, if I may tell it for her, she's very shy. Her dad took her mom to see Star Wars opening weekend. Her mom, little old Irish Kathy Bates style lady, what year were they seniors? 1964? 1963. So they're about a decade after high. God damn, they're old by then. 77? My God. This isn't a sweet high school story. Seamus, they were 48 when it came out.
48.
So,
wow.
I'm kidding, not really. But the point is that Tara's father, Bruce Brown, the Native American part of Tara Brown, he was dead set on finishing the movie, and Tara's little Kathy Bates' mom got so sick watching these effects for the first time, she had to go sit in the lobby.
Oh my!
And threw up spaghetti from a fancy Italian restaurant. That's a pretty cool do later. But anyways, the point is, Bruce Brown, his daughter's father, said, "I'll see you in the fucking lobby, Seamus, because I'm sitting through this. Hit the bricks, clean yourself up. I'll meet you after the credits roll."
That's when men were men.
That's right, the strong silent type, like Gary Cooper.
that is pretty badass. Just saying, hey, I know you're throwing up spaghetti out of your nose, but it's the Death Star.
Well, I would say that she is her father's daughter, and I could be bleeding out of my eyes, my fucking pee hole, and my butthole at the same time. But if goddamn A New Hope is on TBS on a Saturday afternoon, good luck, Slade.
Yeah,
pat up the blood on your own.
Besides, you guys have been through a tragedy together. You guys went and saw Rise of the Skywalker, so Come on. Come on.
You're going to get him into
I
trouble.
love that joke. I love that. That's why I didn't say anything. She's sitting right here
with a knife, probably. We're going to see her cut him right on camera.
It's not a knife. It's a tomahawk, Andy. Please.
Wow. I just got into some kind of weird spot there. In 20 years, someone's going to be replaying this clip when you're on the staff of the president, and you're going to be out of a job just for that comment, Sam Slade.
Elizabeth Warren's going to come after you, man.
Oh yeah. So Seamus, I see that you have a book out, The Deadening of Death. What is the denial of death?
I was actually joking about this, or pointing to it earlier. See it? Denial of Death, Ernest Becker.
Denial of Death.
It's one of the things that I got into on my way out of fundamentalism, so to speak. So basically, the idea is Ernest Becker, and there's a fantastic film, documentary about this, narrated by Gabriel Byrne, another Irish connection. The Flight from Immortality, I think it's what it's called. But excuse me. Anyways, we got to talk to Sheldon Solomon, who is also did part of the documentary. But the cusp of the idea is that we as sentient beings, right? We are aware that we're going to die. That's one of the things that separates us from man from beast, so to speak, right? We know that we're going to die one day. So part of our psyche is that we fill things in to replace that constant focus on death.
Porn. So are you saying porn? Because that's what I'm hearing.
Well,
porn.
That could be. Sex is part of it, yes. But
okay.
So the idea is, so we don't go insane and focus clearly on death. We replace it with things like religion, like nationality.
Can you talk slower?
Huh? Can I talk slower?
I heard something about frogs blowing someone, but now I've just been completely distracted by this whole porn tangent that you decided to take us on, Seamus.
Andy, you started this. So Seamus, we look for reasons. We look for reasons to distract us from the fact that we're inevitably going to die alone.
Yeah. So we replace them with things to focus on, like religion, nationality. It could be, Texas A&M. Is that what you got on your? Yeah, sports.
I'm sorry. What?
Is that Texas A&M? Is that the logo? No. Sorry, I don't know. I don't follow college. So, what is it?
I understand there's not many schools in West Virginia that are accredited, Seamus.
Thank you.
I can make this joke because I'm a kid with a GET who didn't get into this school, but this is the University of Texas Longhorns.
Texas Longhorns. Okay, sorry.
And if they had taken a shot on a young man from South Austin, they might have one more trophy in that case down at the Irwin Center.
But the other side of this death denial thing is, I can't remember what they call it. There's a whole separate film about that too, but they do experiments in this film that I talked about. So the idea is that you're so embedded with the idea of you basically attach your fear of mortality onto this, right?
Yeah.
So if it's your religion, that's what you're focused on. That's your bedrock. That's your go-to. So if I say, Jesus was a punk, you're going to get hostile towards it.
Yeah.
Because not that I'm attacking that part of your psyche.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. You're attacking your identity. Right.
Yes.
And
basically, I'm setting fire to your. So if you're, it's like Linus, right, with the security blanket. I'm setting fire to that blanket just by saying something negative about that. But it also goes to the same thing as far as nationality and nationalism. Yeah. And they do these experiments where they do questionnaires and they just happen to mention death and they're reminding the person that they're going to die. Right. So once you remind someone they're going to die, and then then somewhere you insult. Yeah, there you go. You insult that side of their sensibility, or point out that what would you do if, say, if the person you're engaging with is right wing? What would you do if a left winger did X, Y, and Z? How would you punish them? And they always found that they would punish them harder because
they've been primed. Because they've been primed in that way.
Yeah, right. And then the other one is like they'll create a scenario where you have to hang a cross. The only thing you've been given is a nail and a cross, and the only way you can actually nail the cross to the wall is by using the cross. and people will struggle because they don't want to use the cross.
There's this cognitive dissonance, some kind of conflict there.
And then the other one was separating ink in rice or something in a jar with the American flag, and the only way to do it is using the American flag, and they don't want to do it. Yeah, so I mean, there's all these. Good.
That's fascinating.
It's really fascinating, especially when you think that. Remember that Jesus was from Delaware.
What's that?
Because Jesus was from Delaware. Is that what you're saying, Sam?
Because Delaware doesn't exist.
It's early, Andy. It's been 2 weeks since I've seen you, brother. It
has been, because you were here, actually, Sam. Sam did the show. Sam did the show with a buddy of mine, Dennis Mailer, a Boston area comedian and podcaster. And you guys did a great show.
It was so much fun. Dennis was such a great guest.
Yep. So I see a day when I'm not even doing my own show. Is that what you're trying to do, Sam? You're trying to kick me off my own show? I like your silence.
No, absolutely not. And Seamus and I have not been talking behind back channels at all. Seamus and I have not been having late night phone sex at all. So I don't know why you'd even ask. Don't come in here. We're sleeping.
Unbeknownst to me, you're actually like in the same room, or at least maybe in an adjoining room, conspiring. Caballing. I don't know if that's a verb or not. Caballing.
Caballing. I love that.
Hang on. I got a question for Seamus. So the point of the book is that you will look for, like, whatever you make your religion is what you're going to fill up with, so you don't worry. Like, as a comic and as a guy who is confused for being someone from a Jewish background very often due to how much I worry about my own death and when it will happen. So you'll fill that vacuum with whatever you can, basically. Is what you're saying.
It could be sports teams and stuff like I'm just outside of Pittsburgh. I mean, technically I'm in West Virginia, but I'm actually closer to Pittsburgh than a lot of people in PA. But if you talk to anybody who's a hockey fan from Pittsburgh and they see a Philadelphia Flyer jersey, they automatically get pissed off. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure, we can go down the line of, other sports teams that have those rivalries. I mean, it's the same situation.
Yeah,
right?
you just said
there's a reason for
Texas A&M. I feel you on what you're saying.
I didn't mean that. I honestly, I don't follow college football. I really don't.
Hey,
it's
fine. I didn't go to college. It's fine.
It's okay. Yeah. So
that's interesting.
So wait, Seamus, did you grow up very fundamentalist?
Yeah. Well, this is fun. So my parents both had incredibly bad situations, like whatever I'm not going to get into it because it's family situations, but some of the worst things, you know what I mean? Before they even got together, and they decided we're not going to, try to indoctrinate our kids. We're just going to say, although they did, right, to the point that, yes, Jesus is real, the golden rule, the Bible is what you live by, that kind of thing, right? So we never want the church.
Hey, in all fairness, the golden rule kind of like, it works for anything. Let's not throw it under the bus.
Anyways, so there was that kind of background, but, I had tons of questions because I was always an inquisitive kid, and they never really to their credit, they answered what they knew, right? So, but I wanted to actually be a part of a church or learn more. And whenever I met my wife, we both decided we wanted to get into a church, and for her family reasons. And that's a whole other total can of worms, and not even her like direct family or indirect family. So it's bizarre. The Church of Christ, which if you don't know the Church of Christ, those are familiar with Tracy Harris. She talks about it. Because she was also a member. Imagine Westboro, but more polite. Okay.
My mom grew up in Church of Christ in West Texas, actually.
Okay. Yeah. So they believe a lot of the same, shtick, but they are a little bit less vocal about it publicly, right? So, like, in the house.
Back,
yeah. But and again, I was like very much a hippie as a kid. But then I like slowly started getting more conservative, and then I got into that, and then, so I was a Fox News, Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, praise Jesus kind of guy for a long time, far too goddamn long. Yeah. Yeah. It basically, well, the other thing is I was a former law enforcement officer and I got hurt. And whenever I was in the line of duty and when I was in a hospital, the pain machine that was on an IV malfunctioned and I had a near-death experience. And the near-death, I'll try to do the short version of this because I know we're on time and I don't want to always talk about this.
That's fine.
But basically, the short version is no Jesus, no hell, no nothing. So, extreme terror and all that happy stuff, right? But at no point did I have Jesus or God, the end of the light, kind of thing. So came out of it kind of a little bit concerned,
Yep.
Definitely opened my eyes to a lot of, maybe I should question this more. But because I was really sucking on the teats, so to speak, of the Kool-Aid, that I actually doubled down a little harder over time because, I was trying to drown out those questions. But whenever I really started to look at it and, trying to be more objective, and, the Becker documentary came along, which got me into reading the book, those kind of things made me really start to really question things and really read it. So whenever I actually started reading the Bible objectively, because which the hitch was, I was trying to be a better Christian, being a better husband, a better father. Yeah, it was the road to, to Damascus the other way, right?
The takeaway with this, Seamus, is that I don't know why you don't have a book about titled My Near-Death Experience. In parentheses, the subtitle might be Jesus is full of poo.
Well, yeah, John's been on me about that. He's definitely given me a lot of grief that I should write it. I have been writing.
You need to. You definitely need to, because then we'll get the movie deal. Andy, who plays him in the movie?
That's a good question. I would say someone who can handle that kind of range in acting. We'd have to have someone who's classically trained, obviously, maybe speaking in iambic pentameter, but yeah, with the Irish vibe going on there. So maybe Mel Gibson. I don't know.
No, Mel's got to direct, right?
Oh yeah.
He can direct. Yeah.
Well, it might be all that anti-Semitism that he would throw into the script that would kind of ruin it.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of issues there. So yeah.
No, dude. But seriously, I mean, you could easily do a one-man play, or you could write like a novella or whatever. Ella, you could definitely do something like that, because we always hear these stories about near-death experiences turning people to God and making them stupid. If anything, that was your moment of clarity.
Yeah, but I did. Yeah, but I missed it, or at least I didn't embrace it. If I only embraced it sooner, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well,
so,
The important thing is that you did embrace reason.
Eventually.
Yes, eventually. Yeah.
I had actually started writing some of it for blogs and stuff, but I never put them out. And then the computer that had them all crashed, so I've kind of just lost motivation. John's been on me about that. I have another, as far as writing goes, books. I have another work in progress. I hate to bring it up or say it because I hate to spoil it, but it's basically Jesus, the not so glorious bastard.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I want to write a book about basically that Jesus is not the humble, happy servant. The socialist, nice, good guy, or however people want to paint. Right? No. Yeah. He was a dick. I mean,
Jesus believes in hell.
Yeah. And he wants to put you there unless you love him.
Yeah.
So
not very socialist or hippie with that.
No. So
we're coming down to an hour, guys. So we should be doing last thoughts. Do you have any last thoughts? But not in a negative way. Not in like, oh my God, this is over. Where my last thoughts. Let's see. Do I have anything clever from my notes that I didn't? Well, I talked about the Holocaust survivors, and you're saying, Andy, you're always talking about Holocaust survivors. One last thing on my part. We all have heard about the horrible thing that happened to George Floyd, of course, the man who basically got strangled in front of people. And there was this poor girl who filmed it. And, I did a lot of de-escalation training. when I was, managing in human services, because the people that I serve can sometimes be violent. You might find that surprising, but so it was about how to de-escalate violent situations.
Sure.
And sometimes doing off the wall comedy does help de-escalate a situation. So if I was that person, and I mean this seriously too, if I was filming someone having their need on their neck by a police officer, and I was filming it, I would start singing God Bless America. That's what I would do. And I think that might make the person stop. I might get beaten, but I think I might take the hit. And you're saying, Andy, you don't know all the lyrics to God Bless America, so
you secretly want to get hit. We know it.
Oh, right. Only by the right people. So I would probably sing a montage of God Bless America, America the Beautiful, Star Spangled Banner. I would throw all that stuff out there. I would sing to the heavens while filming something like that. And maybe my Andy Kaufman, my attempted
Andy Kaufman, great.
Andy Kaufman bit would de-escalate the situation, but I don't know.
It won't, Andy. They're gonna kick the shit out of you. They might kill you for singing. Let's be honest.
And it would be, and they would make commentary. I would hope they would make some kind of commentary about how I can't carry a tune, and it's really I was asking for it by singing that out of key and changing octaves in such a way.
Well, it's like a dark turn I was not expecting.
Well, I'm good about that, Sam.
I know. That's why we do a show together.
That's right.
Take
So
dark or no dark.
So that was my final thought, I guess. I
thought we were supposed to be positive. What the hell,
dude?
man?
This is me being positive. Didn't you know that? This is me being positive. See, Seamus, this is your turn to be positive now. See, I'm using the.
Hey, no pressure, Seamus.
No pressure at all. No pressure. I don't know. Yeah, as a former law enforcement officer, which all these things that I see make me sick.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, it pisses me the fuck off. It also pisses me off that there's videos, and I know this is going to sound tinfoil hat-ish, but it's real. We have undercover police officers causing looting and damage before the place went to shit, as it did last night. And it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. But if you're if I'm looking at a positive spin, much like religion, social media, the internet has shined a light on a lot of the nonsense that has been going on with authoritarians for too long. The old boys club needs to be broken up, and
definitely.
I know I get some shit from my few friends that are still cops for saying some things, but there is nothing like an old boys club than law enforcement.
Yeah, and it is toxic.
Yeah, I mean, the broom needs to come. The septic tank needs to come. I mean, it's bad. It needs to be cleaned up. It starts with training, and quite frankly, there's an enema needs to really happen at this point.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, you're not going to have it with either candidate currently. I think it's going to be groundwork like what we're seeing now, like the brave woman that took that video.
Yeah.
And to be clear, I don't look at like oh man, there's clearly police brutality going on. I don't assume it. I always try to look by the numbers. Every case is different. Okay, trust me. Ferguson and the Zimmerman thing. Some people may not be happy about what I have to say about it. At least the mechanics are the right calls, so to speak. I think those situations are disgusting on a personal level. But there's other things going on there that I think are right, if that makes sense.
Well,
that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
right?
There's another conversation. I would say that if we were going to be doing reform, I'm all in favor of citizen commissions overseeing what goes on in the police department. I think it's crazy that we have a police department that doesn't have citizen oversight.
Yeah, and that's nationwide, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it does. It's not just the big cities. It's from little towns
everywhere.
Where Andy Griffith wasn't wasn't in charge, right? And there really is few of those, right?
Yeah.
A few of those kind of situations out there. You know, Andy was looking to fuck somebody up every night. You know, come on. So
Sam Slade. Oh no, go ahead, Seamus. Go ahead.
No, just the last thing. I think it almost like needs to be a total reform, not only from training, but also recruitment. Because the recruitment idea is that it's to fill the void, very much like the military.
Yes,
and the mind,
not famous. That's the issue. You can't come back from the Middle East to go right into community policing.
You cannot.
Right. The whole mentality, the whole reason to be a cop and do the right things by people needs to be vetted more whenever you're hiring. But I mean, that's top down. You know, and maybe, I don't know, like you just said about having a citizen review, maybe the citizen review needs to be part of the vetting as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Indeed.
You know, and I used to do background checks, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So, and I'll shut up because I could.
Well, hey, Seamus, to make your point before I try to stick the landing with some positivity of my own, to make your point, the same grandfather who was Elvis' commanding officer, I never met the man. My dad swears anytime he was talking to a young, private or first class Marine, enlisted guy, whatever, he would at some point make an attempt, say, "You pretty excited about killing some Vietnamese?" And if you say yes, you're a psychopath and stay away from them.
Exactly.
And
that's what they want. That's what they want. But that's what they want. That's what the military wants.
These old school guys, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah. That's a whole other conversation. Actually, that was the crust of the conversation out of Full Metal Jacket on this last weekend show. But yeah, I better shut up because I think I put enough positive I can put out there without saying some things that I really shouldn't. So. Anyways.
Well, I primed you up, Seamus. That's what I did. You came after a difficult act. You came after me, and so that's always tough. How about you, Sam?
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lewis?
Yes, everyone.
Nice lady.
Lee Lewis.
Seamus doesn't know how many obscure fucking impressions I do that nobody gets. Seamus, someday I'm going to do my Alex Jones for you. You don't have to pretend to be all nervous and fucking flustered because you will be. You'll be waiting for this hand on your thigh. That's right. While I'm doing my Alex Jones for you, rubbing that bald head. You know how we're going to do this. Positivity is what Andy requested.
Wants to rub the bald head. Everybody wants to rub it. I tell you. Sorry.
Okay, I won't. Fine. I won't fucking touch it. I don't care how pretty it is. Positivity. Henry Cavill is back playing Superman.
What?
Right. I heard
One, more importantly, Ben Affleck will be returning as Batman in a short run of his script that he wrote that they took away from him that led to a complete spiral of alcoholism and divorce. And now in a weird, ironic, fucked up twist, now that he's dating a 23 – what does she do? Actress is what the girlfriend said. When the girlfriend says actress, you know it's not good.
Is that a word for cam girl? Is that what we're talking about?
She's not going to touch that one. Affleck's coming back to be Batman. That's positivity because that means anything can happen. There's still a shot, America.
I thought you were going to talk about Dean Cain when you brought up Superman, so I was getting excited. I don't know.
Hey, Dean Cain is currently playing Supergirl's father on the CW.
Oh, jeez.
You're welcome.
I made a joke because I guess he said something or did something that everybody's like, well, he's always been a racist. And what was the show that they played after the Cosby Show back in the 80s? Come on, I know you guys are old enough to know it.
I know what it was. You know what came on after
the flip glasses?
After the Cosby Show, it was the Rape Kit Show.
Boom! Just like that.
It was a spinoff with the oldest daughter, right? She went to college.
when they went to college. What was it called?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Fuck, I'm not a black woman. I don't remember.
This is your life, or I don't know. Well, that's one day at a time. Anyways, so there was the after school special show because that's how all those rolled, right? And everybody keeps showing the video because Dean Cain was the bully, the racist bully, and he starts spray painting on the main boy with the glasses, the flip up glasses. Where did he go? That's another where are they now, guys? But he only got the letters N-I out. And I'm like, that's the Knights and me. He just wanted some shrubbery. What the hell, guys? What's wrong with that?
Well, I'll say this, Seamus, to your point, people don't realize that Dean Cain was actually the first person of color to play a legit superhero.
Ooh.
He's Native American.
Did not know that. I did not know that.
Well, that's kind of worthless trivia I bring to the table, Seamus. You'll get used to it.
He's still a hack after and a douche, but that's just me.
I heard he like a year ago he was coming to Austin talking about like refinance mortgages, having like a seminar. Fuck.
Well, he's super like he's in with the God is not dead. Well, he did the first God is not dead.
What does that mean?
Just those Christian film fundamentalist guys.
It was a horrible propaganda piece by right-wing Christians, basically.
The kid from Growing Pains, Kirk Cameron, different project.
Similar circles. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So similar crew. It was the Hercules guy, right? The Hercules, whatever his name is.
Sorbo.
Kevin
Sorbo. You're welcome. Real quick, before we got to jump off,
sure.
Leave me to think about this over the weekend. Please explain to me the concept of God is dead or God is not dead. Please, you too. I don't deal with plot. I'm a dialogue guy.
Well, I have not seen God is Not Dead. I'm not going to lie to you. From what I understand of it, from what I've heard of it, it is centers on a court battle, Seamus?
That's the second one.
That's the second one.
The first one is college. So you have it's so awful. It's so awful. That's what you need to go with first. So many tropes. You have this Christian kid who goes to school, virginity, the whole sanctity of life, all the tropes are played out. But he has an atheist teacher who's Kevin Sorbo, professor, and even like one of the whenever he signs up for it, one of the kids who does the that guy's tough. He doesn't like Christians. There's like all this stuff, and to find out that the only reason he doesn't like Christians is because his wife or somebody close to him, I think it's his wife, died, and he blames God. He's mad at God. That's why he doesn't believe in God.
Sure.
And like one of the final scenes is, put the two of them in this debate, and the arguments are so horrible.
Yeah.
They're just like the standard apologetics and just total BS.
Yeah.
Dean Cain is like a kind of peripheral character whose wife has cancer and he's cheating on her. You want to interrupt already? Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah.
He's an atheist?
In the film.
Right. In the film. The film. Right.
The film. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
For a man who makes 50 fucking G's a weekend at Comic Cons across the country, you better believe in God, you fucking blonde asshole.
But is there anything with him? He's hilarious, like on Twitter. He's a great guy to follow if you still can. Because I think he blocked me. I'm not sure if he still did.
Too soon, Seamus.
So, well, I did I actually did. You know what? You guys asked me about writing about my story. I did do a short blog about because he did a film. There is light or light at the end of the tunnel about a guy who was an atheist or whatever and found God after a near-death experience. Sean Hannity's in the film even. Yeah. So I took that. Yeah. So yeah, beautiful. I took that personal and had to write about that one. But anyways, so he's in this film and everything is like, he's one of those guys that like, I'm a Christian and that's why I don't get any big parts. Denzel Washington, he's doing okay. It's like, there's a lot of Christians in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You just suck, Sorbo.
You just suck.
Hey, real quick before we go, Seamus, can I tell you what Denzel's defense was to that?
What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hang on. Let me get this straight. I just want to get this straight, Seamus. Let me tell you, you're walking in here with Kevin Sorbo from Hercules telling me that God is not dead? Is that what you're telling me? I just want to make sure that we're on the same page right now, Seamus and Andy. We're all three sitting here together, making sure that we understand. Kevin Sorbo is here telling us that God is not dead? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. My man.
That's great, dude. On the freaking money. Hey, I just want to thank everyone in the chat. Neil, 604 Atheist.
Hey, Neil.
Points out that the show was called A Different World.
Oh, that's it.
Yes.
Good job, Neil.
Which I had heard of but never saw back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks for everyone coming in, interacting. Whatever this is, whatever show this is, whatever we run here on Friday mornings, I'm not really sure what it is. Once again, I think I dub it as performance art with politics thrown in. I think that's why I put it on. The official title is what was the official title, Sam? It's the Friday morning show with Sam and Andy. Andy and Sam. I always want to put your name before me.
All right. Friday morning with Andy and Sam.
Okay, there you go. All right. Well, we're going to be doing this again next week until they say that we can't. I guess that's what we're doing. Seamus, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, that was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks again.
All right. See everyone next week.
Okay, we're still live.
Hey, Seamus, we're still alive. Let's keep doing a show.
What the hell? I think you hit the wrong.
We're still live. Let's keep going.
Okay. I don't